What's going on, Flightfam? This is your captain speaking, and before we get into the new series, I just want to put out a disclaimer. This series was filmed in October of 2024 and July of 2025, respectively. So just before what happened last year in the Middle East, in, I believe, May or June of last year, and what's currently going on this year in 2026. So this is from a different time period. As a flight reviewer that pays 100% for his flights, I just want to put out the best possible content I can, but at the same time understanding the current situation that's happening right now. So I do have the utmost respect and reverence for all the flight crew, ground staff, airport staff, everyone that's impacted by this and handling it in the utmost professional way possible. And at the same time, telling the truth about what happened in my experience with this specific air carrier. Nothing too major, but something that kind of did alarm me. But without further ado,
and now for our feature presentation.
Damn, we are getting old.
What's going on, Flight Fam? This is your captain speaking, and welcome back to Flight 4080. And yeah, I'm inside of a vehicle right now because I'm gonna let the intro speak for itself. Hello?
Well, if it isn't the captain.
Habibi, how you doing now?
Habibi? You mean Habibi? When did you become so sophisticated?
Alright, fine. What is it?
Well, it's been a while since you teased that next adventure, and we're all waiting to see what it is.
Well, I was actually going to get into that, so if you were to at least give me a little bit of leeway.
We don't need leeway, just get on with it, mate.
Alright, fine. Cue the intro.
Again? Are you serious? No, the other one.
Yes, I'll be flying on Emirates this time to Nigeria. Well, right now, I wish I was on a flight right now. Now, here's the thing about Emirates. Yes, I'm flying in business class, but I'm not actually going to be a part of the full business class experience, and I'll explain why. Right now, I'm in a Cadillac CT4. It's a luxury vehicle here in the United States, and Cadillac is normally a luxury brand. To each his own though, because people would think about Benz, they'll think about BMW.
Normally when you book with Emirates in business class or first class, you get the complimentary chauffeur service. And according to the Emirates website, the chauffeur service gives you a complimentary distance of up to 50 miles driving distance for both first and business class passengers. The service includes all taxes, tolls, and gratuities within the complimentary radius. If you live or you're staying above 50 miles, don't worry, the excess mileage is charged at USD $6.80 per mile for all car types. Also take into consideration that all excess mileage costs do not include local taxes or tolls above the 50-mile radius. Luckily, I don't fit into that category, but unfortunately, I didn't get the chauffeur service. Now, Emirates typically has 4 separate options for booking in business class. Business Special, which is the cheapest out of the 4, Business Saver, Business Flex, and Business Flex Plus. Now you see the difference between Business Special and Business Saver just with the chauffeur drive and the lounge access alone.
Since Emirates has the specific fare, it isn't fair to a degree because when you think of Emirates first and business, you normally get the chauffeur service. But if you want to save money, these 2 luxuries are the sacrifices you make when booking an Emirates flight in the Saver category.
So the reason for me talking about the Cadillac that I was sitting in, I took an Uber Black and I booked it at least 3 days in advance to when I was traveling. I reserved for the driver to pick me up between 4:30 and 5 p.m. so I can maximize my time at the airport, not only catching views, but also maximizing my time in the Emirates lounge. We'll get to that in a second. Here's the thing. The driver came around 3:30 p.m., which is 1 hour before the pickup time. He was very nice. He said that he would wait, not a problem, because he knew that this was a pre-booked itinerary. When we got to Terminal 4, that's where everything went downhill. I was charged an extra $57.85 just for him waiting for that extra hour. I complained to Uber and they actually gave me back my money. So the total for Uber was $114.83. I'm looking at my choices and I should have booked in regular business saver instead of business special. Man, I haven't been in Terminal 4 since 2016, so wow, it's been 8 years since I actually left out of Terminal 4. Because all the other flights I've taken out of JFK left out of Terminal 8 and Terminal 5. So this used to be one of my favorite terminals to come to because of all the international flights that leave out of here. And there's a lot of differences too since the last time I was here. So let's head over to the check-in counter because it's less than 4 hours before departure and less than 3 hours from boarding time. So these bags, man, I had to put them on a freaking smart card every single time. It never fails. Santa Claus is coming to town and it's not even December when I'm leaving. It's only October. Mind you, it's supposed to be my birthday. All right, all checked in. Bags are going to the final destination because we are gonna have a little bit of a layover in Dubai. Heading over to the business class queue. Again, I don't take you guys through security. I'll let you guys know how everything's gonna be once I go through security. Check-in complete, and that was so cool. I just saw WWE superstar Big E. Just said have a good flight. Didn't want to take a picture with him because you're on TSA. Why would you take a picture with somebody at TSA? And he looked like he was running for a flight too. So, hey, when you see somebody famous, give them their personal space. And he was really cool too. So, awesome. Well, let's try to see if we can get into the Emirates lounge because my ticket, unfortunately, doesn't give me the access to go in the business class lounge, which sucks. But you win some, you lose some. Funny how I see someone named Big E and I'm going to fly on the Big E. Puns aside, to be honest, between JFK Terminal 4 and JFK Terminal 8, I still prefer JFK Terminal 4. There's a lot more things to do in my honest opinion. Now, Delta, the dominant carrier in Terminal 4, opened up the Delta 1 lounge back in 2024. Just a few months before I traveled. If I had the credit card or the status with Delta Airlines, I would have loved to visit that new Delta 1 lounge. But the Emirates lounge is pretty cool because you're able to board from the lounge itself onto the A380 if you're in business class or first class. The lounge is located in the A concourse near gate A5. You can either take the staircase, but if you want to skip leg day, there is an elevator nearby. Don't be alarmed, that elevator takes you up to the lounge. It does look like the elevator that takes you down to the ramp. And upon getting there, the lounge staff actually gave me a lovely welcome, but not so lovely news. Hello. You can do master debit, it's fine.
Actually, it's an extra boarding pass. Does it have to do with the visa and the transportation?
Yeah, I already got that. Yeah. Yeah, I got it.
Great. Enjoy.
Thank you. Oh, so we boarded straight from the lounge? Okay.
The bridge is under maintenance,
Oh, okay.
so we have to fly next time.
Yeah, I gotta try it next time. All right, thank you so much.
Enjoy.
Thank you. So the one thing that I wanted to do, which was basically go on the upper deck of the A380 from the lounge and experience that, I wasn't able to, so it pretty much put a damper on the pretty penny that I paid. But at least I got a lounge. This lounge is very nice.
So, my investment does come with a little bit of a negative setback because besides wanting a little bit of privacy for waiting around until we board, I did want to experience a once-in-a-lifetime experience of boarding straight from the lounge. That's something that I always wanted to do. So guess what? One, I had to pay $125 to get in here. Two, which technically is the number one thing. Yeah, JFK right now, you can't board from the lounge anymore currently at the moment, so which kind of sucks because that's another reason why I wanted to come here. But at the same time, my birthday just passed, so that's another reason why I wanted to come into a lounge anyways. Even though I didn't really get the lounge access, my birthday gift is actually coming later on in the trip. 3, watch how I use the coffee maker because it overflowed. Just gonna sit down, relax, maybe have a drink or two, and yeah, wait to see how it's going to be to board my first ever jumbo jet. Yes, I never boarded the 747 yet. That will come, but I haven't boarded a 747 yet. But since I'm flying on the A380, I'm flying on the super jumbo. So I guess you can tell today I'm not proud of my financial decisions. But on the brighter side, I'm in a nice, comfortable space away from all of the chaos in Terminal 4. The evening time in JFK is always active, so looking out the window from this vantage point, pretty dull a little bit because it's just a one-way alley, but the action was pretty nice. Plus, you can see our aircraft coming in right now. I'll tell you a little about it once we get on board. 2 flutes of champagne and a brownie to start off. No, that is not a delicacy because I know the last time I've flown, that's the same exact thing that I had. I just wasn't a fan of what Emirates had to offer in the lounge tonight. But what I am a fan of is the fast Wi-Fi. The upload speeds and the download speeds were pretty damn good. After admiring the etching of the Emirates logo on their champagne flutes and changing my shirt that was too oversized, I decided it was time for us to start walking towards the gate, given the fact that we cannot board from the lounge directly tonight.
Good night, guys.
Good night. You're not boarding yet, okay?
I know. I just like to be there before.
Especially with no lounge boarding.
So the lounge is kind of small. It's not that big, but it's pretty cool. Is it worth the price tag of $125? That's kind of a hard sell. I say that the Polaris lounge is a lot better, but the surface is nice. I'm not gonna deny that, and the bathrooms are very clean. So at least you have that. So let's head down towards the gate. I know it's still early. He was just saying like, oh, I'm not boarded yet. And I'm like, yeah, but I still like to get there a little bit early. Let's head down to the gate before all those people upstairs that are on my flight start running downstairs. Since there was just about 15 to 20 minutes before boarding, I decided to check the little extension on the A side that Delta built. It's impressive, but I wish that they did put more wide body gates on this side. They already have a lot of regional gates on the B side, so I'm not too sure why they decided to do this. After returning from a short but relatively unadventurous adventure, they already started lining up all of the wheelchair passengers, which means it's not that long for boarding.
Thank you. Finally, first time on Emirates. I'll be boarding on the upper deck, so this is gonna be fun. Take care, man.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you, sir? Please sit out of line. Let's see you across and right for you.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard the Airbus A380. First time ever saying that in my life and on this channel. And let's just say a friendly welcome, but I started geeking out as soon as I made that right turn. I'll get more into the specifics of the cabin once we're up in the air, but our seat tonight is 7 kilo. So while my 2024 self is geeking out over this, let's just skip ahead and focus on what you're here for. And that is the details and intricacies of this very eccentric yet luxurious suite. Sorry, seat. There's no doors. Since we're in the first row, right in front of the seat is a baby bassinet, which means yes, it may have a little bit more surface area for yourself during the flight, but when you're boarding and when you're deboarding, and even during the flight actually, you're more exposed versus the other passengers. Plus, you're right next to the galley, so keep that in mind. The seat itself is 18.5 inches. It converts to a 75-inch long lie flat bed once you're in flight. Next to that are extra storage bins. You have the overhead bins and the bins next to your suite. That is where you're going to put your pillows and your blanket. At every seat, you get slippers and an eye mask. as well as the noise cancellation headphones that Emirates provides, even though I use my Beats. In front of you, you have the massive 23-inch screen. I get it, at home, that's not too impressive, but once you're on an aircraft, it's actually pretty impressive. And what's more impressive is the entertainment selection that Emirates provides on their world-class ICE entertainment system, which is just short for infotainment, connectivity, and entertainment. Below that is the footwell, and there's a little bit of space to store your shoes, but if you wear Chelsea boots like I normally do, it may or may not fit, depending on how you store them. Now that I'm settled in, let's start looking at some of the goodie bags that we get. Here's a visual of the eye mask and the slippers. God, when I'm excited, I'm such a freaking child. In the side storage bin, you get one pillow, the mattress topper, and the blanket. The welcome drink came, and here is champagne glass number 3. Things are starting to look pretty amazing. Now there's not that much storage where you don't see your things, so to my left there's a storage shelf, and below that is the little mini bar that you get. And there were 2 little bottles of Evian water, a glass, and a little packet of jelly beans. That's pretty cool. And what's cool about this seat, it comes with 3 screens technically. The main IFE screen, the little remote which has a screen, and a tablet that also has a screen. To the right obviously is the window, but it has a private jet aesthetic to it, and the window screen, which I ended up acting like a child and playing with it. Suffice it to say, I'm pretty excited and appreciative of the luxurious things in life. Not long after, another FA came around and provided not only the food menu, but the drink selection as well, and it's pretty extensive. Again, we'll get to more of that during the flight. So I want you to take a look at something that I normally don't necessarily show. Take a look at the window now. Now take a look at the window about 5 to 10 minutes later. Notice a difference?
Hey you! What are you doing there?
Now this is where the Emirates experience takes a very rocky start. I don't mean this statement to cause chaos, but there was a really bad misunderstanding. Here's the thing, Emirates is one of the world's most recognizable brands that you could ever think of. They're pretty much like the Pan Am of today. I've said that before when I was in university. You see them everywhere. They're on football jerseys, multiple commercials on YouTube, and even on regular TV. So of course, when people see them or when people fly on them, you document your travels. You've even had many YouTubers that are flight reviewers or non-flight reviewers talk about how expensive their first class is, to the fact that you can take a shower in first class, or how the business class is pretty eccentric, however, very luxurious. So I think you know where I'm getting ready to go with this. The FA that attended to me the first half of the flight stopped, saw my camera and the suction mount, and told me to remove the suction mount from the window. I was kind of shocked, but I did listen. But then the cabin manager came and she told me off in front of everyone. You are not to film on Emirates. You're supposed to get pre-authorization before even conducting any documentation. And I was very uncomfortable in the moment because you're telling me off in front of God knows how many passengers in business class. I immediately told her that I never outright film crew on purpose without their permission. Throughout all my travels, I normally would have many people that would make a comment about the camera and they're happy that I'm actually documenting my travels and they get interested. I've had some cabin crew members that just said, I don't mind you filming, but just don't show my face, and I would obviously respect their request. But that was the first time that I actually had a crew manager come up to me and damn near yell at me just for filming. But on the flip side, I can definitely understand her concerns, because there have been incidents where there are passengers that would just forcefully point the camera at a cabin crew's face and it becomes a really big issue. So to any cabin crew member that is watching this, I personally just want you to know that I have no problem with not filming any cabin crew member whatsoever. I honestly don't. But how do you handle a situation like this? Because I've never actually had a more serious issue when it comes down to something like this. Wow, well, after all this delegation with crew about filming and the fact that we're pushing back, I believe this is the perfect segue to give you a little bit more information about this beautiful, beastly, yet gentle, majestic giant, the Airbus A380-800. Tonight's flight will be flying as Emirates Flight EK202. Tonight's registration will be Alpha 6-Echo Echo Uniform, a 10-year-old Airbus A380 at the time of flight. This is in their very colorful Destination Dubai livery. And as we taxi to runway 31 left, I'll turn on the fasten seatbelt sign and allow you to listen, or try to listen, to such a beautiful yet quiet aircraft. Peep the British Airways 777-300ER as we take off. In motion indeed. Right after takeoff, we turned left over Howard Beach, Queens, then continued on to Brooklyn, climbing over Starrett City, Canarsie, Bergen Beach, Mill Basin, and Floyd Bennett Field, then back over to Queens over the Rockaways above Bell Harbor. Then, nothing but 5 to 6 hours over the North Atlantic. After trekking over the North Atlantic, we reached the continent of Europe, reaching our first country of Spain, flying parallel in between Zaragoza and the Pyrenees Mountains, then leaving Spain over Barcelona, flying over the Mediterranean Sea, then onward to Sardinia, then mainland Italy over Naples, then onward to Albania, and then over to Greece, flying over Athens, then Mykonos and Rhodes. After finishing the trek over the mighty Mediterranean, we enter Egypt over the Sinai Peninsula, turning left over the Gulf of Aqaba, went a stone's throw over Jordan before crossing Saudi Arabia. After the Saudi Arabian trek, we flew over the Persian Gulf, passing Bahrain and Qatar to our right. Then we began our initial descent into the United Arab Emirates. While on our approach into Dubai, we flew over Deira, passed over Dubai International, then Warsan 2, over the desert outskirts of Dubai, and made a final left turn over Al Weir, then went on our final approach before touching down at Dubai International Airport. Tonight's flight will take 11 hours 49 minutes, cruising at 37, 38, and 39,000 feet, respectively. Since we're at cruising altitude, I'll turn off the fasten seatbelt sign and give you a little bit more information about this gentle giant, the Airbus A380. Emirates is the largest A380 operator on Earth, with 116 giants in their fleet. The next largest operators of the A380 are British Airways and Singapore Airlines with 12 respectively, which means Emirates has 9.66 times the amount of A380s as the next largest operator, which is insane. But what's even more insane is the amount of passengers that the A380 can hold. Since this flight actually has a premium economy section, and this being one of Emirates' premium markets, this seating configuration would be known as the A380-800M. Pause now if you're interested on seeing this seating configuration of this version of the A380. It's pretty extensive. But here's some highlights. There is a bar on the upper level behind the smaller business class cabin to the rear. But let's head back to our seat of 7 kilo in the front of the business class cabin. Normally, I change right after the meal service whenever I'm on a long flight like this, but because of the whole debacle earlier, I didn't feel comfortable, so just to calm my nerves, I decided to change into the PJs. The bathrooms are pretty clean, and the PJs are definitely comfortable. Since they took our orders on the ground, the meal service began once I came back to my seat. The first thing that came out was warm mixed nuts, and even though I'm a Martell guy, the only cognac on offer was Hennessy XO. And of course, that was the way to go, because it was actually pretty good. While waiting for the appetizer and the main, I decided to try to play with the infotainment tablet, but I can tell you right now, I didn't use it that much at all on the flight. But what I did use was the Wi-Fi, and it was pretty decent, especially considering that I'm an Emirates Skywards member, and since we're in business class, the connection was free. But stay tuned, because Starlink will be implemented throughout Emirates' entire fleet by at least mid-2027. Not long after, the appetizer and the main came together. I went for the Arabic mezza as my appetizer, and then as my main, I went for this prawn pasta that they had. It was absolutely incredible, to the point I requested for more bread, and that plate was absolutely clean. Since I was watching Star Wars Episode 3, I felt like I needed to do some Star Wars in my dreams. So the mattress topper was placed on my seat, and with that being said, I'll see you guys over Europe. After fighting off the Empire in my dreams, I woke up to see that the cabin was lit in this nice little morning mood lighting. When I looked out the window, we were just about to leave Spain. And with a good night's rest, I felt like it was time for me to change right back into my regular clothes. Just a side note, these little bags that Emirates provides with the pajamas can actually fit a decent amount of clothes, including a belt. Once I put away my pajamas, I felt like it was time to walk through the cabin and go back to the famous bar that Emirates is known for. And when I got there, it was absolutely rammed to the brim with people. But what was more interesting, there wasn't anybody behind the bar, but I quickly understood because the breakfast service was about to start. So after catching a glimpse at something that I always wanted to see with my own eyes, I went right back to my seat. And my apologies, but I just realized that I didn't even talk about how you could charge at your seat. In my seat, to the left, right by the top storage shelf, is a universal power outlet. Above that, the auxiliary port, and right above that, 2 USB-A charging ports. And I will be honest with you, if your charging adapter is large or heavy, please do not plug it in because it's just gonna keep on falling out. But if you have a travel adapter, it might work out in your favor. So that's what I used. They were still prepping for breakfast, so I decided to ask for a cup of coffee. And yes, I love my coffee in the morning, or afternoon, or whatever the time zone is. Coffee is coffee, and I needed to start my day. About 20 minutes later, my order came about. I'd ordered an omelet with halloumi, which came with a nice warm croissant and some fresh fruit. And yes, I did get a mimosa because, again, we're celebrating here. Some time later, we were over Saudi Arabia, and this is why I said whatever time zone, because this was the shortest morning I've ever had. It was already the evening. Another hot towel was provided, and the evening mood lighting cascaded around the cabin. So while we're preparing for landing, I'm gonna prepare you for some bad news of my own. I can't find the landing footage whatsoever. And if you noticed, I didn't even do my normal overview of the amenity kit. And I'm sorry to say, this was one of those flights where I kind of felt uncomfortable with recording regardless. Even when the camera was mainly focused on me, I can still sense the tension from the crew. And as stated before, I do not record crew. But since we're on approach, I will turn on the fasten seatbelt sign and give you a brief overview of how I feel about Emirates. This is a one-off, that is definitely for sure. Was this flight pretty good? Minus the tension? Yeah, the attention to detail was still there. But I do sympathize with the crew member, maybe because she may have had a bad experience in the past. But I will preface this. You are allowed to record on Emirates. As a matter of fact, you're allowed to record on most airlines. So I don't want this to be a video of me telling you to be afraid of Emirates. That is the furthest thing from the truth. You should actually enjoy your time with Emirates. And this is the first flight out of 6. But now I turn the question over to you. What was your experience with Emirates in any class of travel? Did you ever feel ostracized or feel nervous about recording your own documentation of how you feel about your first, second, or even 100th Emirates experience? And if you've flown on the A380, how do you feel about the aircraft? Because I really loved it. So much so that I forgot that I was flying on a Super Jumbo. Place all your comments, concerns down below. And with that being said, I'd like to take the time to thank you for watching another video on Flight 4080. Thank you for your patience in waiting for this first installment of the new series, the Emirati Escapades. And I guarantee you that the next flight is 10 times better. I'll see you guys in the next one, and always remember to keep climbing.